to the entertainment Talkin' Sports.
What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. Hope everybody's staying safe out there. I know that I said I was going to be live tonight. I'm going to push it back till tomorrow. So I will be live at the same time tomorrow, 8:45 p.m. with Kid Blue. So hope to see you guys there for that. I had some prior plans that I forgot about. But in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the news that has come out about Daniel Jones. And we continue to hear how hard of a worker that Daniel Jones is this offseason. An article came out today that I saw on Giants Wire talking about the work that Daniel Jones is putting in the weight room. And I thought this was a really cool article because it kind of touched on what Daniel Jones's biggest strength is probably in the NFL. And to me, it's his work ethic. And this guy has been working nonstop this entire offseason, right? We've heard about how he's trying to correct those fumbling problems. Now we hear that he's put on 9 pounds of muscle in the weight room. It also touched on, though, because of his work ethic and his competitive nature, it may even be part of his weakness. But the thing is, you don't want him to get too conservative because then that will take away from some of his strength. But if we're being fair, sometimes he made throws last year that he probably shouldn't have tried to make, rather. He probably, tried to do too much sometimes when he should have gotten rid of the football. But that's something that is common for a rookie and something that Daniel Jones should be working on this offseason. And it's something that his former college coach, Cutcliffe, touched on. But I thought it was just a really cool article as we continue to hear encouraging news about Daniel Jones trying to improve himself for the offseason. Now, why would he put on 9 pounds of muscle? Well, obviously, it would make him stronger. In the NFL, you're dealing with bigger athletes, faster athletes, and the bigger you are, the more of a punishment you could probably take, and that's probably the way that Daniel Jones looks at it. But let's jump into the article. Let's talk about some of the things that were said by both Cutcliffe and, I forgot the gentleman's name, but he works for The Athletic, or he was interviewed by The Athletic. Let's jump into some of the quotes about Daniel Jones. The first quote is by David Morris of QB Country when interviewed by The Athletic. He's been serious about staying busy in the weight room. I think he's around 230. David Morris of Quarterback Country told The Athletic he's gotten bigger, and therefore you see it. He's stronger. And, of course, hopefully that helps him holding on to the football as well, something that was a major problem for Daniel Jones this offseason. He seems like he is working diligently. The next thing, one of Daniel Jones's greatest attributes is his competitiveness, the ability to fight, hang in there, go that extra yard, and do whatever it takes. I think that's a great gift and strength of his, Moore said. Same token, knowing when to stop competing is something that we talk about. Knowing when to move on, throw it away, tuck it in. An incompletion is better than a sack. An incompletion is better than a turnover. And yeah, I mean, that's something that, like I said, though, it's not just with him. That's with a lot of quarterbacks. That's something that Eli Manning had to learn his entire career. But the thing is, you don't want to reel him in too much because if you do, well, then you don't get the David Tyree moment. You don't get the comebacks that Eli Manning used to provide us. So sometimes, yes, it will lead to head-scratching turnovers, but it can also win you football games. So I don't want Daniel Jones to get too conservative. I don't mind interceptions from time to time because sometimes you need to take shots. But Daniel Jones, I think, needs to learn to protect his body specifically and obviously pocket awareness with the football. And I'm sure those are things that he continues to work on this offseason. And then finally, last but not least, this was Cutcliffe talking about Daniel Jones and talking about how that competitiveness from time to time is something that he actually needs to work on. He was too fearless as a runner here, I said, in that league. It's simple. Those guys hit you. They're 6 or 7 years older. They're stronger than anything that's ever hit you before. Quit running the ball like a back. Get on the ground. Run like a quarterback. Unless it's to win the Super Bowl, quit taking on tacklers. And, of course, the quarterback I thought of when I heard that quote was John Elway. John Elway was a mobile quarterback, and I didn't get to see John Elway at the beginning of his career, but I would assume Elway went through something pretty similar because in my fumbling video, he averaged a fumble on every 3.1% of his passing attempts, which is a very high number. He went on to correct that, but the reason I thought of John Elway was him taking on the tacklers in the Super Bowl when he spun around like a helicopter when he was like 40 years old against the Green Bay Packers. He's a great athlete. He can get out of trouble, make yards, and then you get get the hell knocked out of you by a guy that has been continuing to train his body for 7 or 8 years. I tell him, don't take those hits. The ball is coming out. I don't care what you do. And that, to me, will be, if he learns that, and he should, will be the biggest contributing factor in the lessening of fumbles for Daniel Jones this offseason. And Cutcliffe is 100% right. And those quotes ring true to my ears. Let's put it that way. I never, you look at any of my live streams, people always ask me, do you want to see Daniel Jones have more design running plays? The answer is no. I don't want my quarterback taking more hits than he needs to take. And yes, I completely understand if you learn to run like a quarterback. Russell Wilson has perfected the art of this. Steve Young was very good at sliding. You don't take the hit as many hits as some other guys that do not run the ball properly as a quarterback, and it's something that Daniel Jones will have to learn. He will have to learn to slide, and I'm not telling him never to take off or that I want him never to take off, but I don't want it to be a consistent thing. He's got to learn to get rid of the ball when there's nobody there. He's got to learn to fall to the ground rather than take a hit by a 260-pound linebacker. And these are things that Daniel Jones will go, learn as he goes along. But it is pretty cool to hear that the guys put on 9 extra pounds of muscle this offseason to be able to take some more hits and maybe to help him better secure the football. As always, guys, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe, drop a comment, maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.